Okay friends, it's time to get started on removing our front bumper cover. Now of course there's going to be some mounting hardware up across the top, but there's also going to be some things underneath that we're going to have to deal with. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get this up in the air so we can have a look. Now from underneath the front of the vehicle, what we have to do is remove this entire black panel right here. There's going to be some things that we need to be able to access up inside. To remove this panel, you're going to find several push clips. Now inside the wheel well along here, you can see the back of the push clips. So what I want to do is just use a small fork tool. You can also use pliers, a screwdriver, whatever you might happen to have. And we're just going to go ahead and pull out the center, and then we can remove the entire push clip. That's what one of the push clips looks like. This is the little nub that you need to get in between and pull it out to the unlocked position. There's two of them down along here. Now as we make our way this way, you're going to find a strip of them going along the very front, and you're also going to find some that come along the center area. Get this out of here. Now looking up in each of the corners, you're going to find some wiring that leads up to some lighting. We're just going to go ahead and grab onto that harness. We'll give it a little twist counterclockwise and go ahead and remove the bulb from the area. Give it a quick inspection. Make sure it's still in good working order. Of course, you can try to turn them on and make sure it functions properly. If it needs to be replaced, now's the time to do it. Do the exact same thing on the other side of the vehicle. Next, we're going to continue on along the inner fender well here. You're going to find several push clips that you're going to have to remove from each side of the vehicle. There you go. Now we're just going to carefully grab onto the bumper cover. We're going to give it a little tug out and away, and you'll notice this drops down. After that, we're going to look right up inside here, and you're going to find a 10mm headed bolt. Go ahead and remove that bolt. Now up inside the bumper, after you get that bolt off, there's also typically going to be a nut of some sort that goes onto a stud. You're going to want to use a 10mm to go ahead and remove that. Once you have that nut loosened a little bit, just go ahead and give your bumper a little tug towards the front. You should want to separate. Now let's go ahead and get underneath the hood, and we're going to start removing the push pins from across the front. You're going to find 5 of these. Let's go ahead and start pulling out the center and making our way across. All right, last one here. Make sure you're holding onto that bumper cover so it doesn't fall. Let's grab onto this. We'll give it a little wiggle and start removing it from the vehicle. Now we can start accessing the back side of this area, and we can remove all of our 10mm headed nuts. Now let's continue on by removing both of our lights on either side of the bumper cover. To do that, you're going to find 2 7mm headed bolts. One here, one right there. Let's remove the pair. Do the same on the other side of the bumper. The next thing you want to do is turn your bumper upside down. You're going to be looking for this area right here. To remove this, we're going to use a square bit, as you can tell. Turn this counterclockwise, and it's going to unscrew the foam from behind the bumper cover. Remove the foam. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put in our foam insert into the bumper cover. You're going to notice on this it says Buick front, and it has an up sign. So of course you want to make sure that's facing towards where the grille is going to go. Let's set that right in here, make sure it's centered. Now we can go ahead and turn this into the upright position so it's upside down, and we'll start putting in our 2 mounting screws. Now we can go ahead and get our lenses in here. We're just going to slide them in and behind these areas. Once it looks as though they're lined up, go ahead and put in both of those mounting bolts, snug them up. Give it a wiggle, make sure it's secure, and do the exact same thing for the other lamp. Now it's going to be time to put on our grille. We're going to put this through from the front of the bumper. Go ahead and slide those studs right on through the back side here. Start on all of your mounting nuts. Once they're all started, snug them up. Now let's go ahead and slide this bumper cover into position. Looking down inside this area, you can tell that that foam insert needs to sit up along the top of the metallic bumper. Go ahead and slide that right into position. We're going to line up the holes for the top tabs. We can put all of those in. Lock them in with the center. Now we're going to go ahead and start taking care of the corner of the bumper. Looking up along this area here, you're going to see a little nub which is attached to that nut that we went ahead and loosened. Up on this area of the fender is the area that it needs to go into and then slide backwards to lock in. I'm going to go ahead and lift this straight up, slide it back, lock it in. Now before we go ahead and tighten up the nut, let's go ahead and insert this bolt as well. Once they're both started, we can snug them up. Now we need to start putting this wheel well in behind the bumper. I'm just going to carefully pull it on a little bit. You can see the areas that need to go behind. Slide them in. Make sure all the mounting holes are lined up for your push tabs. Insert the push tabs and lock them in. Do the same on the other side of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and reinsert those bulbs. Lock it in, do the same on the other side. Now we can get this lower shield on here. Areas to pay attention to are along the very front and along each of the sides. They actually need to go up and behind the bumper cover. Slide that under. This under here as well. Let's start right in the center to hold everything for us. Now we're going to continue on with putting in the push tabs that go all the way across the sides and the front. Now once you have all the push tabs in along there that you removed, let's continue on with the ones that hold the wheel well to this splash shield. Okay, we got it all back together. What's left to do now? Go ahead and close the hood, take it for a road test, make sure you don't hear any funny noises coming from the front.